Nobody called us. Which account are they paying the money to? Port Harcourt to Lagos, 20,500. That is the fare for now. Tell us they are paying 50%. That is a air talk. We have not seen it in practical. So if they will be giving us fuel diesel to fill our tank, you can take even 5,000. They're only telling us something they cannot do. This 50%, I'm seeing it as a gambling. They have been promising us heaven and the earth. After every, nothing comes up.
The driver is angry. Some passengers also spoke.
It's going to be very, very good for we passengers because most of us don't have money to travel down to our villages because of situation of things. If the federal government can do what they promise, I think it will help we travelers a lot.
The federal government agents supposed to be here. As them, they sell this ticket. Without no federal government agent here, they cannot work out from Port Harcourt to Lagos or from Port Harcourt to Abuja. Anybody travel in this season supposed to benefit of everything. Out of 18,000 naira, you pay 50%. This one 50%. You have a lot of things.
It was gathered that passengers traveling the Lagos to Abuja, Kano, Kaduna routes with God Bless Ezenwata are currently enjoying the scheme. Also, the 100% for train trips from Port Harcourt has not kicked off because the train services have not started. It was, however, gathered that maintenance operations are ongoing at the Port Harcourt train service. What have we done, Onyekachi? What's the problem? 50% discount, others are enjoying. It reach our turn. Story begin. Please, you're with the news team. You might know something I don't know. What has Port Harcourt done to the federal government?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the attention is in Abuja and Lagos because you have people from people moving, people who travel a lot are people from this part of the country, the southeasterners, and they always they are situated in that side, in that axis of the country, the north, Abuja, the bigger city in the north, and then the Lagos. So maybe the attention may be there because from those of us traveling Port Harcourt will be just, we're going to our place in Enugu. I'm sure you soon go to Enugu, and then Oka and the rest of the cities here. So maybe that's just the reason. But honestly, I see it as just a temporary, arrangement by the federal government because a lot of people have actually criticized this thing and say, look, pay attention to this. It doesn't stop the government from paying attention to subsidizing petrol or making sure the price of petrol comes down. This is just for the Christmas season, really. But I think the federal government didn't quite put this plan properly in place. What's wrong with them saying, okay, this is the route, these are the cities, so give us the dates, give us the time. The cities where these buses will take. Okay, Port Harcourt, so bus will take off at this time on these dates, so that we'll know any transport company that violates it will just hold the transport company responsible. So I think the government should have come out with more details. I recall that day that the minister was actually revealing out these things, he was asked, what is the cost of this thing on the part of the federal government? He refused to give that detail. I don't know why they refused to give some of those important details. So I think the government should have come out with more details so that Nigerians will know exactly how these things will work. However, this is government. For me as a person, I hardly believe the government these days until that thing they promise is done. That's when I believe that's really.
Well, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you're shocked that a spokesman for the presidency as regards this particular project refused to talk about how much the government is spending. We're not forthcoming, and by that I mean the Nigerian state, with how much we spent. People ask how much did we spend to take delegates to COP28. There has been no response. How much did it cost the country for all the medical trips? The former President Buhari, we have not had. So how much are we spending? I don't remember any time where that question was answered. So we should not be. It's the analysts that will now say, okay, this is what it will very likely, and that's what we will have to work with. But yeah, welcome to our world. Okay, do you think there should be palliative for car owners? We are managing this small thing. We also buy food. It's not only those entering Chisco and God is good and all these things. We might need these palliatives too.
No, but the point, like somebody mentioned in that soundbite, that look, why didn't they just say, okay, go drive into a petrol station and buy at a subsidized price for this season, so it will cut across everyone. That should have been another option for the government to have considered. Maybe again, let's see what plans they have going forward. Okay.
Speaking about plans, the Director General of National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Moji Adeyeye, has raised alarm at the rate Nigerians are willing to go to make quick money at fake wine, at detriment of the health of its citizens. Her claim is coming off a bust on fake wine factories in Abia State by the agency a few days ago. Mrs. Adeyeye, in an interview, said the agency does market surveillance routinely, goes to the market and makes sure products that are registered are the products on the shelf. The public relations officer of NAFDAC in River State, Cyril Moye, says NAFDAC is tracing and destroying fake products from them being sold by going to factories or stores. He spoke in a radio interview. Mr. Moye also urged consumers to be careful when buying a product and also to report any suspicious product.
People are so despicable that even when a fake product is manufactured, even the manufacturer finds it difficult to differentiate between its own and the fake. So it's a challenge.
Officially, Onyekachi, I want to say there's a problem. If the manufacturer finds it hard to tell the difference between what he produced, it shows you how good these guys are and how deep in a problem we are. But what's your take on this fake product wahala?
Yes, I think a lot of people have said, look, it's poverty. Yes, poverty may be one of it, but then the agencies that have been created to watch over these things, I think they also need to sit up because there was a problem. That's why they were created. They were created to solve these problems. So when I hear them come to complain about the problem they are supposed to be solving, it means to me you're simply saying your agency isn't necessary in the first place. So I think Professor Muji Adeyeye and her team should sit up, plug out the bad eggs, because some of these people, for them to have succeeded this far, it means they have people who work with them amongst government officials. So I think they should look inwards and sanitize the agencies, not just NAFDAC. Some, the other regulatory agencies, they've not been doing much, I must say it here. They've not been doing much. We've not seen... Fake products are everywhere in Nigeria, not just wine, even edible things. You see fake ones in the market. So they need to sit up, they need to sanitize some of these agencies, and then so that we know exactly where we are going. And even some of these things come through the borders, our porous borders. So the agencies just need to sit up for me.
And speaking about sitting up, this brings Professor Dora Akunyili to mind. Through major parts of this week, the name trended on Twitter. A lot of people. There's nobody that denied the impact of Dora's administration at NAFDAC. It was visible. Once in a while you can say NAFDAC is trying. If you invite any of them to the studio, they will very likely tell you, we're doing this, we're doing that. Many people may not know these things because you don't work at NAFDAC and you don't understand their projects, plans, and policies. But during Dora's time, you didn't have to work at NAFDAC. It was clear. They were going after fake products and their producers. The rave about NAFDAC number, it was during her time. Yeah. So sometimes if the work is not visible to the common man on the street, it's hard to convince that person that you're actually working. But looking at the NAFDAC of today, and I'm not trying to do a Professor Adeyeye versus Professor Akunyili, but if you were to rate just based on what you've heard and what you've seen, not as a news person, how would you rate the activities of, let's say, the regulators, not just NAFDAC?
Like I said earlier, Sam, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. I've been to a few of them here in Port Harcourt, the Federal Consumer Protection Agency.
FCCPC.
Yes, I've been to the office a few times, and they tell me the regular thing. We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. You just see that nothing is happening. You sit there for hours, nobody comes to complain. There's no evidence to show that this is. They just say it, So we just you can't compare the tenure of. The person of Professor Dora Akunyili herself, her personality. When she was made Minister for Information, personally I was like, why are you giving her information? It was later I realized that the legislature wanted to use her integrity. It was about her. So when she speaks for the government, Nigerians will believe. It was her integrity the government needed, not about... because when she tells Nigeria... Recall when the man almost died, he said, I'm the Minister for Information, I know nothing about the president. And Nigerians believed her. It was about her person, her integrity, what she came out with. So I don't know whether we will have anyone like that again. I just pray we'll have someone like the late Professor Dora Akuni, was still far from some of the things she achieved. It's still the way nobody has dared to come close to watch some of the things. Man, she went to her home state. She went to her region to fight those those guys that produce fake products. So it tells you her sincerity, her honesty, and her desire to rid the country of fake drug.
We'll have a break in about 2 minutes. But for you as a consumer, since you're not getting enough protection from the authorities, steps to protecting yourself for products that you use regularly, whatever that might be, ingredients in the kitchen, maybe drinks, beverage. Can you tell as a consumer? I don't know what you buy the most, right? But something you regularly buy. Would you be able to tell when somebody is selling fake to you based on your usage?
It depends on what it is.
Okay.
If it's maybe a cream,
Yeah.
sort of, I may not be able to tell seeing it the first time, but after using it, of course, it will come with its own reaction on my skin. So that will make me, begin to, know that this may not be the right product. But then it's difficult. My personality, I don't check all of those things.
just give me the cream. Give me the cream, my they go.
I don't take my time to flip through, check the
goodness.
stuff and all of those things. So I don't know, but I've on social media lots of complaints these days. Right? This U-type.
Would you consider maybe where you buy from? Some people say when you buy from big supermarkets, there's a bit of a guarantee because of their name as against that person on the roadside. Could that be a factor? Is that something you might consider?
Usually I don't consider that when I'm buying. What I consider more when I'm going to buy is a service.
Okay.
For me personally, I look at service. Even if it's more expensive, the way you serve me makes me come back.
Now me say I go come buy fake milk, serve you well. Mr. Nwosu, God bless you. We have a break. After that, I'll take your thoughts. Please stay with us. Nigeria Info. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. My guest, Onyekachi Nwosu, is still right here in the studio with me. Hello, Onyekachi.
Hello, Sam. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, it's time to talk to you. Our next story, of course, is on the latest episode of the crisis in the political space in River State. But between now and then, you and I can talk. We've talked about River State being one of the most expensive states to live in, according to reports by the NBS, the National Bureau of Statistics. The federal government transport fare slash is yet to kick off in Port Harcourt. And fake products. Nigerians are desperate for quick money. This is according to NAFDAC. What's your take on these? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chinedu the Oracle.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning to your erudite speaker, Chinedu Nwosu.
Good morning.
Okwando Obina is my name.
All right, Okwando, please go ahead.
I think on the issue of the federal government with the policy of slashing transportation fare, you see, when the government don't have a well thought out plan, that plan will fail on arrival. This slashing of fare, I don't know how the government wanted to implement it. Are they going to carry cash to the both stations or they are doing transfer or what? I don't understand. This is one of the policies since Bola Tinubu became president of Nigeria. Their policies are not straightforward and they don't even achieve anything. Since after removing the fuel subsidy, the government is talking about palliative here and there. How many people have you seen with palliative? They promised 35,000 to civil servants. How many have they paid? I think when the president, before his inauguration, he said that after inauguration he will hit the ground running. Up till now, nothing has happened. Only for him to come out recently and postpone it to 2023 that Nigeria will see a difference, 2024. I think the government should try as much as possible. If they are trying to bring out new policy to help the people, let them plan it very well and see that it will materialize and people will feel it. That is my take. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Okwando. But for the price slash, it has been implemented along other routes, in Nigeria. It's right here in Port Harcourt that we have not seen anything. Also, hitting the ground running may not necessarily translate to seeing results immediately. It depends on how much work is required. So while I understand your position, there might also be a defense from the presidential side of things. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Mr.
I can hardly hear you. Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, Mr. Sam, my own interest is the slash of transportation. Please, Sam, as I'm talking to you now, I need down. Please, tell the government in question, tell the president, and we don't need such things. We should sit on our refinery so that folk will come down. Yes, we don't need all those things. So that when people come down now, you see the poor people now, everybody, we are Nigerians, we know how to find our way.
Yeah, but this is a short-term measure, right? It's not going to last for, it's just for the Christmas season.
We don't need it. Take him to the refinery, then bring the fuel and diesel down. We are Nigerians. We are used to suffer. We know how to find our way.
Okay, there's no problem. So there's a reason why it's called a palliative, right? Right? It is a temporary measure to just hold on to something. Onyekachi, I'm sure you've been in a position where you're waiting for food. Your mom is saying, you go take away before food go down. But between now and then, just they chop this small biscuit so that so that is what it is. It's from December 21 to I think January 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So my brother, and this one you say we don't need it. Speak for yourself. I'm sure there are some people that will tell you they need it. Please, we're not used to suffering as Nigeria.
My dear sister.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Season greetings to you.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Zion. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
I want to talk on the issue of the fake products.
Okay.
For me, I see this as a critical issue. But the government treats it with laxity. If we should be sincere, we are in a climb where we reason like human beings. By now, the NAFDAC boss that in fact, all these affiliates should be sacked, including all the state level, to tell you that these guys are not doing their job. They are not working. They are only receiving salaries and remunerations. If they are busy doing their job, I don't think there will be a fixed product in the market. I don't think there will be anywhere or any time Nigerians will be dealing with this issue. Now you can see why a lot of our brothers have liver problems, health challenges, because of this bad product. Let's consider this other aspect. Who are these people manufacturing these products? Are they not still our brothers and our sisters? Can you see the people who are killing this country are still same Nigerians? The same people, okay, the moment they get all their money from the fake product, what will they do? They will travel out of the country. Nigeria is a bad place. That will be their testament to tell you that from the family front, there is a serious problem. I beg you, when your daughter grows, she wants to marry, go check the background of that family before you give her house. Let her know she don't go and marry from people whose parents have been producing fake products.
Okay.
Let her not marry people who have the responsibility to take charge to stop fake product. He's not doing his job and he's collecting salary. She should not marry from those families. They are bad people.
Okay. I thought love is all that matters, Mr. Zion. Love conquers all. But yeah, to add that to the list, when going to marry, there's an investigation the family does. Is there any trace of madness? Now we have to check whether the family sold fake. That's a lot, Mr. Zion. It's a lot. The elders have too much on their plate. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn off your radio.
Hello?
Turn off your radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please turn off your radio. All right, I'll do it for you. Thank you very much. Moving on. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
This is Honorable Chris. I'm calling from Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, let me talk about this president palliative or something. And see, it's just like when we are small. A story one of my uncle told me that aeroplane. When they see aeroplane passing, you just come out and say, aeroplane, drop dollar for me. You see a white man will just bring out one of your hands, drop dollar. They start picking. Until when I grew, I never knew that is just a story our uncles used to speak us.
Okay.
I was last 2 days. I see here, Mr. President, telling people that they should start free school feeding. I have a primary school in front of my father's compound.
Okay.
Then they call that primary school my school because everything that is going on there, I know everything about it. See, we should stop deceiving ourselves. Even the refinery, I hear people saying, congratulations on what? That refinery is working on what? You want to make a video. You went and start doing a video in the night. Have you checked that video? Why not be plain and do that thing in the daytime so that we'll see what is going on? Congratulations on what? That the refinery in LMA is now started working on what? This is a stage managed because they promised you people that the refinery will start working by December. So what they need to do is to do a short video. Congratulations. The refinery has started working now. Is it working? The fuel, how much do you buy? Is it the refinery is our problem or the price of fuel?
All right. Thank you very much.
I beg.
So we have gotten a point. You have lost all faith in the system. Even the last drop of faith you're supposed to manage. You've lost that as well. Onyekachi, I'm sure a lot of people share this man's sentiment. What would it take to regain the trust and the faith of Nigerians in Nigeria?
First of all, our leaders should stop telling the ordinary people to tighten their belts, to brace up for harsh economy. They should rather tell us what they are doing. They should take the first step as leaders. They should tell us that, look, henceforth, the budget for the National Assembly has been reduced. They should tell us, look, the number of ministers is no longer 40-something, it's now 20. They should tell us that the number of aides is no longer so number, is now. Reduce the cost of governance. Reduce all of these. Just last week, we saw that the FCT minister said he was going to demolish some properties in Abuja so that they will have enough space for the presidential fleet. This is where people, the ordinary people, live. In this hard time, you want to demolish their houses so that we have space for presidential fleet. And people are saying, we thought that we're saying that sell off some of these fleets, some of these aircraft. I know sometimes they had about 11. At time, I think they gave 2 to the Nigerian Air Force. It became 9 or something.
There was a bit of...
so what are we doing with that number of aircraft for the presidential fleet? Why not reduce? These are some of the things those are the hem of affairs should begin to do. So Nigerians will now, okay, we can now take them serious. But with what they are doing, with the bringing down the house of poor people so that you can have space for presidential fleets, all of those elites kind of, it will be difficult for Nigerians to take them serious.
Okay, so let's come back to River State. Reached a truce. It followed 3 hours of talks with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. Those at the meeting were the River State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Ngozi Odu, a former governor of River State, Peter Odili, and the immediate past governor, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, among other stakeholders. Also present at the meeting were the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the President's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. And we've heard a lot that has come out of that meeting. As a matter of fact, some persons have sued the president. I'm going to go into what we have heard is the 8-point resolution that was signed. But before I get there, why is the stability of River State important to the presidency? I mean, the stability of every state should be important, but it seems there's priority. Would the president have waded into this crisis if it were from another state, if it were an Oyo state or another state in the country that had this level of drama where governor or former governor or guy and boy, this one is happening? Would it have gotten this kind of attention from the president?
If the problem is the way that of Rivers was going, I said this because there are a few states where you have problems between the successor and the predecessor or whatever. In Benue State, there's a problem, the SGF and the incumbent governor. But it's not in the media space. Okay. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's a problem in Benue State. In Delta State, there's a problem. But it's not like you pull down the assembly, the other people defect, and then they move to... It's not like that. So the president, for him, they are sorting it out themselves. This president, I'm sure, if the same scenario that played out in Rivers State is playing out in another state, I'm sure he would have waded in. But the modality would have been different depending on which party the governor belongs. Okay. Because that resolution tells you where the interest is tilting towards.
Okay, so let's get to the resolution. An 8-point resolution was signed at the end of the meeting. In the communique, the stakeholders agreed, among others, that all legal suits regarding the crisis should be withdrawn immediately, and all impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara should be dropped. Also, leadership of the River State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amehule, shall be recognized, alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP. The financial entitlements of members of the Rivers House of Assembly and their staff must be reinstated, and the governor must refrain from interfering with the full funding of the State Assembly. Similarly, the Rivers House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative affairs without hindrance from the state. While Governor Fubara shall present the 2024 budget again, but this time to a properly constituted State House of Assembly. Additionally, names of all commissioners who resigned their appointment as a result of the crisis shall be resubmitted to the House of Assembly for approval. Also, the dissolution of local government administration is null and void, and no caretaker committee shall be recognized. The resolution was signed by Governor Fubara and his deputy. The FCT minister also signed alongside Mr. Ribadu, the Speaker of the River State Assembly, Martin Amehule, PDP Chairman in River State, Aaron Chukwuemeka, and APC Caretaker Committee Chairman in River State, Tony Okocha. Now, the reactions to this have been crazy. Lots of people have spoken. Some have said it is a breach of constitution. Others have just talked about fairness, that it's not fair. What's your response?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not fair. But I don't know whether to say it's a breach of because I'm not sure that resolution was imposed on the governor. By that I mean you must do it or you leave office. I'm not sure that's the body language of the president. Yes, it sounded like, look, these are the things we want to go, but it's not like if you don't do it, you are a gunner or something. The governor, the chief executive of the state, has the right to say no because I'm going to flout so part of the constitution. I cannot flout this constitution because the constitution, they say, is the grand norm, and that's the superior, much more than this resolution. So I think it's not fair, especially the points where, for me, the elected local government chairmen are still in power. They are still in their offices. So there was no issue around local government for as much as we know. Yes, it was just behind the scene. We're hearing the government meeting, but there's no action. But so why was it in that resolution? It looks to me like it was an attempt to cage the governor, to build a wall around the governor, and make it impossible for him to have an escape route. So that's the way that resolution, a lot of people are saying, and that's why you see Rivers people shouting and crying. People are holding, protests here and there in the last couple of days. So the president has a right to settle issues in any state, but then the tone and what we've heard that happened in the course of that meeting, local government chairmen were all there. The 23 local government chairmen in Rivers State were present in that meeting. Edison here was in that meeting. Some commissioners were in that meeting. So it was a one-sided decision. Like somebody asked, why didn't they ask those who defected to return back to their parents' party, to the original party? If you are asking the commissioners who resigned that they should be reinstated, you should have also asked those who left the PDP to move back to the APC, because it looks like go back to status quo. They just didn't use that word, but that's how it was before. Yeah. But as it is now, Edison here can no longer, from that resolution, he can no longer be the leader of the house because his party is now in the minority.
So the word resolution involves, if you and I have or are having a resolution, that means there has to be input from you and I for us to come to a point of agreement. There are allegations, which I'm sure you've heard, that this was not a resolution. There was nothing that was heard or taken from the governor of the state. It was just coming out with the 8 points, what they will call agenda. And even though, nobody was forced to sign, the body language, like you said, it was simply, this is what we have decided, you have to agree with it. While you and I were not at that meeting, does it seem like that's what played out? Yeah,
from one of the persons that attended that meeting, that's what he said. The former commissioner, David Briggs, mentioned that look, the president came out and said, he's the commander-in-chief. It was a bit dictatorial, the tone of the president, and that's the word he used, and then asked them to sign. There was no input from the governor or even from the deputy governor, So the constitution still remains the ground norm. The governor has a leeway. He's not caged. That resolution is not cast in stone. I mean, I think the governor has a prerogative to say, look, if I do this, how do you expect him to represent the budget that he has signed into law? That's another area that lawyers will need to come in and explain to us. I mean, what happens? I mean, the Edison here himself has said, look, he has declared the seat of the 25 people vacant. And then by that, he means that he was the speaker at the time he did that. So, and the governor signed the budget that they passed into law. Signed it into law.
Well, one thing I can assure you is this week will be hot on Nigerian.info. A lot of lawyers will join us as guests because this question will need answers. We have 5 minutes to the end of this program and we can use that time to speak to you. But very quickly, let me take the reactions. Reacting to this, coordinator of the People's Advocates Courage Removal faulted the resolution, describing it as unconstitutional. He said the president is not in charge of Rivers State. Mr. Removal also believes that the resolution will embolden the FCT minister to continue to play God. And after that, of course, you hear the voice of the governor saying he's ready to pay any price for the peace of Rivers State. So let's listen to these and, of course, move on to hearing from you.
About an unconstitutional resolution championed by the President of Nigeria commanding the governor of Rivers State to take certain actions, even actions that are unconstitutional. Rivers State is not governed by the President of Nigeria. We are a federating unit. We operate by the Constitution and we are only governed by the elected governor, Similaye Fubara. The purported resolution by the president is unconstitutional.
I can't go Nigeria State because support we have shown within this period is unmeasurable. I don't even know, I don't even have any contact.
All right, apologies there for the audio, but that was the governor stating that he's ready to pay any price for the peace in River State. I think I can squeeze in one or two calls. 08179230002. Hello? All right, call back if you can. 08179230002. What's your take on the latest episode in the Rivers political crisis? Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Sorry to rush you, but you have just a minute. Please go ahead.
Yes, Okwando would be like my name.
All right.
You see, this kangaroo agreement or resolution by the president and others is not acceptable.
The agreement, Okwando, not kangaroo agreement, please. Go ahead.
I think it is not a welcome development.
Okay.
It is anti-reversible, undemocratic and unconstitutional, and also an insult to the office of the governor of the Rivers State.
Okay.
As far as I am concerned, all those agreements will not hold water.
All right, thank you very much, Obina. And my final caller, hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Abadi.
All right.
Yes, I'm calling from Harcourt.
Please go ahead. Please,
the agreement signed entered into by Similaye Fubara and the minister is an agreement that can never be accepted, irreversible. Nobody, no single individual have any right to control the affairs of this state because this state belongs to reversible.
Okay.
Not it's not even that owns this state, and it's not even Sim alone that owns this state. Sim is only piloting the affairs of this, and it must be done in a constitutional manner. Anything that falls short of the ways the Constitution has stipulated how the state should be governed will not be accepted by reversible.
All right, thank you very much. We have a break coming up. After that, we'll say our goodbyes. Please stay with us.